Hi everyone, I'm back with another video. I made an interactive card today and I'm using Keep On Swimming, Say What Pets, Critter Chatter Pets, Meow You Doin', wood grain backdrops, which I didn't show but I will use, and the Let's Toast Pull Tab add-on die. So let's do this. Of course, the first thing I did was stamp my images. And oh, look, right away I mess up and stamp them too close together. But it's okay because I am fussy cutting all my images, so I don't have to leave space for the dies. But I mean, look at that. Could I get the images any closer to each other? After all the images were stamped, I colored them with my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. As you can see, I spritzed some water on my craft mat, and I keep a paper towel handy, so I add a little bit of color, blend out the color with a damp but not dry, not wet water brush that's empty. I pick up a little bit of water with my water brush in the droplets that I spritzed and spread the water and then wipe off the color on the paper towel. I started by coloring that gray kitty. I used a couple different color grays, and then I moved on to the brown kitty, which I kind of colored like a Siamese cat. Sure, let's do that. It's a light brown cat. And then that gave the gray cat a little bit of time to dry, and then I added the stripes. If I didn't let the colors dry a little bit, I would have added that dark gray marker and it would have just bloomed all out, and it wouldn't have kept those, you know, crisp stripes that cats have. Oh boy. Then I colored the darker brown cat and added some stripes to him. Then I moved on to the little kitty, and I tried to make this like a black and white tuxedo type cat, but oh people, that is not my strong suit, as you can see. So I just ended up blending it all out and made it just an all gray cat. I did end up adding some stripes, and it looks okay once I add the blush to the cheeks, but oh boy, I was like, well, I guess I'm not using him. That's kind of what went through my brain. I colored the goldfish and the water, and then I went to color the table, and I wasn't really sure what color I wanted to use. I thought, oh, let me use some gray. It took 2 seconds for me to realize that's not happening, and then I switched to like a golden type brown for the table. What you don't see is I also ended up stamping the top of the table again to create a shelf on the card, as well as, did you notice I missed coloring the fish food? Yeah, because I didn't. Not till I went to cut everything out, and I was like, oh, right, guess I should color the fish food. Oh boy, I tell ya. Now it's my favorite part, ink blending, woo! I cut out probably 30 minutes of me figuring out what colors to make the background for this little scene of a house. So I ended up going with this nice little pinky orangey combo, as everybody has in their house. I used picked raspberry, abandoned coral, and dried marigold to ink blend, and started with the darkest, then went to the lightest, then back out probably 3 or 4 times, as I usually do, because I can't help it. Then I used the wood grain backdrop stamp to add the wood grain texture to the walls. I just used the same colors I ink blended with on the wood grain backdrop stamp and loosely eyeballed where the pink ends and where the orange begins. And it didn't have to be perfect. I knew I was going to add splatters on it because I have no self-control when it comes to distress inks and splattering. So it didn't have to be perfect. Just get the wood grain on there so that your eye is telling you, hey, there is a wood grain background for this house. I then used vintage photo and antique linen distress inks to create the carpet. And boom, we're done. Look at that. Just kidding. I just had to arrange the images to make sure it all fit and if I was going to use it. And now we're going to try the pull tab. This is where it gets tricky. Because I'm using such a small image, I'm going to have that fish be the one jumping up and down. I had to do a lot of alterations, and people, it was not pretty. I ended up making it work, but boy, oh boy, was there the struggle bus, and I was on it. Passenger 1, let's go. When I die cut the actual pull tab part, I used the same colors that I had used for the wall to distress ink blend the pull tab part so that when you pulled it, it didn't look stark white. So at this point you might be thinking, Sam, what are you talking about, Struggle Bus? This looks like it's coming out just great. My friends, you would be mistaken. I'm only pretending. This part was fine. I got this down. Look at me. Pull tab, a little part for the slider part to go, add in the molding. I'm good to go. It started when I had to trim the pull tab die to fit the fish. I outlined it with a pencil so I knew about where to cut, which sounds like a great idea, and it did work mostly. But I accidentally cut where I shouldn't. You really only want to cut those outside pieces. You don't want to cut where it folds. See right there where I drew the pencil? Only cut where you draw the pencil. Don't cut underneath it. Hey, look, we made it! Even with the technical difficulties that I spared you with. And if you look, see back there, I had to reinforce my pull tab slider die because I did a lot of accidental cutting. But it all worked out. I also had to alter the back part that holds the slider part in place. I just had to make it a little bit thinner, which that was no trouble at all. But I made it. I made it. The card made it. We survived. It works. Hallelujah. And now I'm just adding foam tape and adhesive to my images. Then I was like, oh, stamp on the speech bubble. Right, don't leave it blank. Okay, got it. And so then I started adhering it. And you may think, Sam, why do you add adhesive, then your foam tape, which is already sticky, and then glue on top of your foam tape? I'll tell you why. I don't trust any adhesive, so I might as well just use it all. Use all the adhesive every single time. I know you don't have to. It's just me. I don't want anything to fall apart in the mail or whatever. I don't like using the foam tape without any kind of adhesive behind it. So that's what I do. Judge away. I decided on the translation that I wanted to use and stamped that on the front with black, and then almost added it to my plain white card base, and I was like, aha, no, must add black and white washi to the sides. If you know me, I can't stop myself. And here I go again. Adhesive on the base of my card, adding the foam tape, take the back of the foam tape off, add more adhesive, then glue it, because I trust none of the adhesives. Maybe it's because I used to be a scrapbooker and it was hard to see your pages fall apart, so just all the adhesives all the time. And look at that, we're done! We made it, the card survived, I survived, that little fish survived, and they're all friends. Thanks for being with me making this card. I hope it made you laugh and hope it makes you smile. Bye!